Today we will discuss unit 2 of pharmaceutical engineering subject, that is unit 2 chapter 1, that is heat transfer. तो आज हम लोग पढ़ेंगे हीट ट्रांसफ़र, उसके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, एप्लीकेशंस, हीट ट्रांसफ़र के मैकेनिज्म और फोरियर्स लॉ के बारे में। तो जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, हीट ट्रांसफ़र नाम से जो समझ में आ रहा है कि हीट की ट्रांसफ़र, या और वी कैन से दैट हाउ हीट इज़ ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम one object at lower temperature to object at higher temperature. So, basically when two objects are kept at different temperatures and are brought into thermal contact, then heat flows from one object at higher temperature to the object at lower temperature. So, there are three mechanisms by which heat flow may takes place. First one is conduction, convection and radiation. So, these are the three mechanisms by which heat transfer takes place or heat flows from one object to another object or object at lower temperature at higher temperature to object at lower temperature. What are the objectives of heat transfer? The various objectives associated with heat transfer are: number 1, to study the different mode of heat transfer. That means, what are the modes by which heat transfer takes place from the object at higher temperature to object at lower temperature. Second point is to determine the rate of heating and cooling. It means, what is the rate at which heating takes place and then cooling takes place. Third is to plan the changes in new heat transfer equipment. That means, suppose heat transfer equipment is prepared or is set, then what are the mode or what are the mechanism by which heat transfer takes place in that equipment, or if you want to change the heat transfer mechanism also, then also this phenomena can be used. Next is to determine the efficiency of existing heat exchange equipments. That means, the different heat exchange equipments which are available, by which we can measure the efficiency of heats. With the help of that, efficiency of those equipments can be determined by these mechanisms. Now, applications of heat transfer. What are the different applications of heat transfer? First one is evaporation. Evaporation means phenomena where water is or heat is supplied in order to convert a liquid into a vapor. That means, with the help of evaporation we can get a concentrated products. Generally it is used for concentration of products, in which liquid is evaporated from the slurry and concentrated product is obtained. Second application is it is used in distillation also. So, heat is supplied to the liquid mixture for separation of individual vapor component. That means, heat is supplied to this liquid mixture for separation of individual vapor components. Suppose 2 or 3 liquid mixtures are there. So, we can supply heat, the liquid which has the lowest boiling point, it is converted into a vapor and then it is collected into another chamber by passing through a condenser. Third is heat transfer is also applicable in case of drying. In this case, it is used for drying the wet granules in pharmaceutical purposes, or we can say that here the product is dried. There is a basic difference between evaporation and drying. In this case, concentrated product is obtained. In this case, dried product is obtained. Okay. Fourth one is crystallization. With the help of heat transfer mechanism, saturated solution is heated. What is done? Saturated solution is heated to bring out or to prepare super saturated solutions. So, saturated solution is heated to prepare or bring out super saturation or super saturated solution, which ultimately promotes the crystallization of drugs or which leads to increase in the crystallization process of drugs. Next mechanism is sterilization. So, autoclave uses steam as a heating medium. In autoclaves generally steams are used as a heating medium. With the help of that steam, sterilization takes place. Now, the heat transfer mechanism, how it is transferred or what are the different mechanisms by which heat transfer takes place. So, heat transfer from one place to another place takes place by three different mechanisms. Commonly, all these three mechanisms may occur simultaneously or we can say that individually. So, what are the three mechanisms by which heat transfer takes place? Number 1, conduction, convection and radiation. Okay. So, these are the three mechanisms by which heat transfer takes place. Now, first one is conduction. What is conduction? When heat flow in a body is achieved by the transfer of what? Momentum of individual atoms or molecules. Okay. So, when heat flow in a body is achieved by the transfer of this momentum of individual atoms or molecules without mixing, then the process is known as conduction. So, this process is limited to solids and fluids whose movement is restricted. Here we are seeing a diagram which explains the principle of conduction. Here you are seeing that wooden pieces are there, which is from which a fire or flames of fire is coming out. Okay. So, here you are seeing a hand with a rod. Okay. So, as soon as this rod is placed nearer to the flame, then this portion gets heated. What happens? This portion gets heated. It is seen by the change in color, that is reddish color. Okay. As soon as this portion gets heated, it transfer heat from this point to this point. Okay. So, how the heat transfer takes place? By movement of atoms or molecules which are present in this iron rod. So, this is the simplest mechanism by which heat transfer takes place, that is called as conduction. From one point higher temperature region to lower temperature region, if the heat transfer takes place by movement of individual atoms or molecules without intermixing, then the process is called as conduction. Now, second heat transfer mechanism is convection. What is the second mechanism? That is convection. How it takes place? So, when heat flow is achieved by actual mixing of warmer portions with cooler portions of same material, the process is called as convection. In previous case it was no intermixing takes place. Here mixing of warmer portions with cooler portions of the same material takes place. So, in this case let us take an example. This is a pan in which water is filled and from the bottom of the pan heat is supplied. We can say that this is the source of heat through which heat is supplied to this container. Okay. What happens? The layer, we can say that this layer, the layer which is in close contact with the heat source, that layer of water gets heated and it becomes lighter. So, as soon as the bottom portion of water gets heated and it becomes less dense, hot, less dense, then what happens? This rises in upward direction, this moves upward direction, and the cooler liquid which is on top of the container, that moves downward. This movement of process, or this movement is called as convection current. Okay. The hotter liquid gets upward, cooler liquid gets downward, this movement is called as convection current. Okay. So, since when the liquid is hot, it becomes dense, and the water or the liquid is cool, it becomes more dense. It hot less dense, cool more dense. So, the cooler one comes down, hotter one goes to the upper side. Likewise, this cycle continues, and the process of heat transfer is called as convection. Okay. Third mechanism is radiation. What happens when heat flows through space by means of electromagnetic waves? Okay. In the space, when the heat is transferred or heat flows by means of or by movement of electromagnetic waves, then the process or energy transfer is called as radiation. If you will see in here, you see the in this place piece of wood is burning, or we can say that a source of heat is there, and here you see the hands, means just they are keeping the hands within some distance from the source of heat. Then also the heat is transferred to this place from source to hands, or we can say that our hand feels heat. So, this area is space, and the heat transfer takes place by electromagnetic waves. So, this process of heat transfer between in space is called as radiation. Another example is sun. Since if you will find it or see, the sun is far away from us or from earth, then also it transfer its heats from there to earth. So, this distance, or we can say that space, in this space the heat transfer takes place by this electromagnetic waves. So, this transfer of thermal energy is called as radiation. Another example is there here, as I have discussed in previous slide, that all the three processes can take place simultaneously. How? Let us see that. This is a heating coil through which heat is generated, or we can say that it is the source of heat. Okay. So, this is the source of heat. So, it transfers heat to the pan containing water. So, what is happening here? The pan is kept with some distance between the heating source and the bottom of the pan. Then also it transfer heats to the pan. So, here heat transfer takes place by radiation. Okay. As soon as this pan gets heated, so the pan transfers its heats from this place to this side, means hotter region to cooler region. Here the transfer of heat takes place by conduction, and in the in this pan the water is filled, and the water the heat transfer within the water takes place by the mechanism of convection. That means, hotter liquid moves in upward direction, this cooler liquid moves in downward direction. So, all this process takes place simultaneously in a single experiment. So, these are the three different mechanisms by which heat transfer takes place. Now, Fourier's law, heat transfer by Fourier's law. So, Fourier was a scientist who has proposed a law by which this heat transfer takes place. What is the law? It is also known as the basic law of heat transfer by conduction. So, this law, Fourier's law, is based on the mechanism conduction. So, according to this law, rate is equal to driving force divided by resistance. So, this is the simplest form of law, that is rate is equal to driving force by resistance, where driving force is the temperature gradient, that means change in temperature. Now, what is Fourier's law actually? According to this law, rate of heat flow, that means rate of heat flow through a uniform material is proportional to what? Area perpendicular to heat flow. That means, rate of heat flow through a uniform material is proportional to the area perpendicular to heat flow. Also, it is proportional to the temperature drop, that means change in temperature from higher region to lower region, what is the change in temperature, and inversely proportional to the length of the path of flow. That means, what is the thickness of the object through which the heat flow takes place, that thickness, it is inversely proportional to that thickness, or we can say that length of path of flow. So, this law can be written as rate of heat flow is directly proportional to area perpendicular to the heat flow, and temperature drop inversely proportional to the thickness of, or we can say that length of path of flow. So, with the help of this law, how the heat transfer takes place by conduction can be given. Now, let us have a look to the derivation of this law. Q is proportional to area, temperature drop, and inversely proportional to L, that is thickness. Q is equal to K m A delta T upon L, that is K m is the called as proportionality constant. Okay. So, according to Fourier's law, let us write this equation in derivative form. So, dq by d theta is equal to minus k a dt upon dl. Okay. So, what is q? Q is equal to heat transfer, that means this capital Q is called as heat transfer, theta is the time. Okay. dt by dl means this dt by dl, this is called as temperature gradient. Small t is denoted as temperature, capital L is thickness of the material, K is equal to proportionality constant. We will see in this equation a negative sign appears. Negative sign indicate or minus sign indicates decrease in temperature in the direction of flow. Suppose it is, if heat is flowing in this direction, then this indicates, negative sign indicates decrease in temperature in the direction of flow. Now, further derivation of this equation, according to Fourier's law, dq by d theta is equal to minus k a dt by dl. if you will see in this diagram, this is the object through which heat is flowing. Okay. So, rate of flow of heat is dq by d theta, it is directly proportional to the area perpendicular to which heat is flowing. So, this is the area, A is the area of this object, L is the thickness. If you will consider a small part of this portion, then this is called as change in thickness or change in area. So, for a steady state heat transfer, dq by d theta is equal to constant, okay, that is equal to small q. So, this is equal to minus k a dt by d L. Now, integrating this equation on both sides. So, how we will go for integration? So, for that we have to rewrite the equation. So, this implies that q into dl by dt is equal to minus k a. So, this is the equation. Now, we will go for integration. Okay. So, it is a definite integral equation. So, what you have to do? Integration from 0 to L dl by A. So, take this A to this side and dt to that side. So, dl by A equal to minus integration T1 to T2 k dt. Okay. This negative sign can be removed by changing the integral, definite integral, that is T2 to T1 k dt. Since so, integration of this, it comes dl by A is L by A, q was constant equal to Km, Km is the proportionality constant, T1 minus T2. Okay. So, that is equal to Km delta T. So, finally, this equation becomes q L upon A, that is equal to Km into delta T, which is further it can be written as q is equal to Km delta T by L here A. That is what the Fourier law explains. That means, according to Fourier's law, rate of heat flow is directly proportional to the area perpendicular to the direction of heat flow, directly proportional to the temperature drop, and inversely proportional to the thickness, okay, or the path through which the heat flow takes place. Hence, this equation is proved. So, in this way we can derive the equation of Fourier's law of heat transfer. Now, thermal conductivity. The proportionality constant K. What will be the unit of proportionality constant K, or how we can determine the unit of proportionality constant K. So, the proportionality constant in the previous equation, or we can say that in Fourier's law equation, it is called as thermal conductivity, or also it is called as the coefficient of thermal conductivity. What was the equation? Q is equal to Km A delta T upon L. So, this was the equation actual equation derived by Fourier's law. From here K m will be equal to Q Q is equal to K m A delta T upon L. So, K m will be equal to Q into L upon A delta T. So, with the help of this equation we can determine the proportionality constant K, or we can say that unit of proportionality constant K. This K is also called as thermal conductivity or coefficient of thermal conductivity. Okay. So, Q is expressed in BTU per hour, A in square feet, T in degree Fahrenheit and L in feet. So, the unit of K will be BTU feet by hour feet square degree Fahrenheit. Heat transfer through convection. When heat flow is achieved by actual mixing of warmer portion with cooler portion of the same material, then the process is known as convection. Okay. So, the heat transfer in fluid occurs in actual mixing of its layers. So, there are two methods by which this heat transfer takes place through convection, that is natural convection and forced convection. Natural convection, when heat transfer takes place naturally or without the help of any external object, and forced convection, if the current or movement of fluid is caused not by density difference, but by some agitation or some mechanical devices, then the type of heat flow associated with it is called as forced convection. So, suppose let us consider an example. This is a container filled with liquid. Here you are supplying heat through this portion. If the heat transfer takes place with the help of convection naturally, then without any external object, then it is called as natural convection. But if you are using any stirrer into this object, and by that if heat transfer is taking place, then the process is called as forced convection. Okay. Heat transfer by radiation, it is a process in which heat flows when heat is transferred through space by electromagnetic waves, then it is called as heat transfer by radiation, or also called as thermal radiation. Black body, it is defined as that body in which radiates maximum possible amount of energy at a given temperature. It is given by Stefan Boltzmann law, that is Q is equal to epsilon B A T 4. So, this is the law where Q is energy radiated per hour, A is the area of radiating surface, T is absolute temperature and E is the emissivity of body, whereas E is also called as proportionality constant. So, this is all about heat transfer mechanism and its objective. Thank you.